You have exactly what you need within you to embark on this next quest. And the reason I say next is because there's two synopsises that are coming through around next and also new. So it tells me that it's not your first one. And the quest is this breadcrumb trail that you're following, but it's something that you have received from your higher self that is leading you towards a very specific, I'm hearing leading you towards completing a very specific intention that you've had for this lifetime. There's so much that's coming through for you. Essentially, last night I had one of the most powerful astral travels that I've had maybe in months, and it was literally a doorway into this planetary grid system. So I'm seeing a doorway that you're stepping through into a totally new reality. I'm hearing that you're going to be inhabiting, so it's something that you're not going to be just settled in, but it's a reality that's settling in around you. Anyway, I'm going to walk you through the symbols and the locations and the ancient civilizations that I was meeting, but also this abundant energy from the earth and your natural connection to it. It's something that your ancestors were fully connected to, and also, you know, your parallel past lives, because you also are the culmination of your ancestors. So there were quite a few messages that are coming through for you. One is that the grass is always greenest where you are. Now, let me explain that. So I was seeing it as the pyramids, but also the Osirian. So the two themes about this, especially if you've come on the Red Pyramid series that I did, Johnny, and if you didn't, let me catch you up to speed. That pyramid was selected to be in that particular area on the planet because I'm hearing of the mass that it would scale and produce. But it generated a very specific compound or chemical that would then nourish its environment. So what it created was ammonia, and ammonia is one of the most abundant elements for fertilization. It essentially had the whole, what is now a desert, become something that was flourishing. It was this luscious green world, essentially. And I'm seeing that for you. There's just something that you do that bleeds through you. Again, it is a conduit of its own kind, but I was also seeing it as you're being guided by the spring oasis of your heart, right? The subterranean depths of your own heart that are going to lead you towards a new external spring oasis. That's what I'm seeing. It's like this mysterious aquifer that you're connected to. It's this hidden wellspring of knowledge that you're anchoring into your third dimensional experience, and you're navigating this system, but with something that's going on beneath the surface that is far more than what you've revealed. Okay, it could be, again, like your source, like where did you get this from? That's what this kind of gives me. Or like, how do you come up with this idea, or how did you generate this? I'm just seeing like generation and things being extremely luscious, fertile for you at this time in your life. But we're going to go ahead and break this down. I'm going to show you some illustrations for the themes and scenes that I was moving through in the astral, just so you can see the things that I was seeing. So the first scene was about three waters, and this message begins in a tent. Not just any tent, it was the exact split between the ocean, the river, and the lake. So these three bodies of water meeting at one point. And immediately my guide turned and said to me that this is the map of your consciousness. It was the source field that was being shown through the ocean, and the river was your path in life, and the lake was your current incarnation timeline or bubble. And standing in the middle is the self that remembers all three. There was this natural spring at the top of a mountain, water cascading like a waterfall, and the entire place pulsed with life force. This big wave came rushing in towards you, and you laughed. You weren't afraid. You literally said, "Oh, I'm not dying until 20 years from now." And you completely felt it. It was this overwhelming sense of sovereignty over your own timeline, that life is longer, deeper, richer, and more supported than you were taught to believe. In the second scene, it was very clear that you didn't know this place would be like this until you arrived. So the entire scene was a recalibration of perception, and you kept saying, I didn't even know this place was like this. I thought it was only a lake from the pictures. The message was that you only ever see a fraction of truth. You only ever see the pictures, which is the surface layer, the narrative that you were handed. But behind the surface, there's this entire ecosystem of abundance, energy, and support. And that's where you found yourself saying out loud, there's an abundance of resources here. And it wasn't just about the water, it was about life, energy, potential, and the Earth's natural intelligence. In scene 3, you were being shown the Lemurian, Sumerian, and Peruvian golden sun disk. So these are 3 ancient civilizations. Suddenly, the landscape shifted into a tapestry of symbols. These Lemurian spirals, Sumerian stargates, and the golden Peruvian sun disk. 3 ancient civilizations separated by oceans, time, and culture that were all showing the exact same message. These places were never disconnected. They were part of one planetary network, one grid, one consciousness, different languages with the same remembrance. You felt the ley lines running beneath your feet, these nodal points where different cultures hold different fragments of the same original story. It was a deep planetary connection. The 4th scene was You Don't Need Shoes. This was a very human interaction. You're at a night job, and a woman is about to head home after her shift, but she's not sure if her shoes can support the 25 to 30-minute walk. So she asks you, do you think it's possible? And you respond, you can get new ones along the way, or you could take them off. And when you say that, something clicks. It's almost as if we've been taught that we need barriers, shoes, systems, layers of protection, but they actually disconnect us from the earth. It's natural to walk barefoot, it's instinctual, and it's how our ancestors lived and how our energy systems were originally designed. This encounter is saying that you've forgotten how close you are to the world beneath your feet. This message echoed through Mexico, Hawaii, and Peru, places where ancient people walked directly on the ground, fully plugged into the grid. Scene 5 is from sand to forest. The environment shifts again, from sand dunes to forest to living waters. This was the cycle of reconnection, the rewilding of consciousness, and the restoration of our bond with the natural world. It wasn't just a location change. This was an initiation. Scene 6 was at Astral University. So this is where souls that were in resonance came together collectively, and at one point you found yourself there in what you could only describe as this astral university that was placed near water, a place where knowledge isn't taught, it's transmitted, where you don't study, but you remember. Every symbol, every location, every person, it was part of the curriculum, and this was training. Scene 7 was the woman with the red bob. And finally, the last scene. A woman was getting a short, bright red bob. She kept asking the stylist to go shorter, shorter, but the stylist refused to cut the sides the way that she wanted. And afterwards she said, I would have looked better if she listened. The closing message is simple. It's to trust your inner guidance and don't allow others to override your vision. When you know what you want, speak it, lead it, and claim it. This wasn't about hair. It was about sovereignty. So the message I have for you is that not only are you trusting your own inner guidance and intuition in these next steps moving forward, but also you're returning to your natural connection to the earth, which is this innately divine, intelligent being that you are. And this next phase or cycle in which you're moving through, okay? I'm hearing it's like a trustful, but you're doing it with yourself. I'm going to go ahead and get some messages for you. Now, what's interesting is I shuffled some of these cards earlier, right? And this one came flying out. And I was only shuffling it to clear the energy, but this is telling me that your first message is service. I feel good when I can help others. Now, I'm going to leave that as a side message, and I'm going to see what is in conjunction with this, because I keep hearing conjunction. Conjunction are 2 things that are supposed to come into alignment. They were always destined to come into alignment, and there's this harmonious bond that happens. So I'm seeing it as, either people are supposed to come into alignment with you because it leads to some type of growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. There could be something around, again, as people come into your field, there's a way that you're of service. There could be something that you generate that I'm hearing it's a gift that keeps on giving, but it also keeps receiving as well. Oh, there's something very interesting. I'm going to read these 2 first and foremost. Now, service. Service, service, service. Here we go. I feel good when I can help others. One of the most evolved gifts that the soul possesses is giving of itself. There is a reason why it feels so good to give. It's because your soul resonates with that vibration. Your soul should be aware that it might be currently in a situation in which it needs to be fulfilled on higher levels. And this can only happen through the attribute to humbly serving and supporting others. Put yourself in a position in which you can benefit another soul in any way possible and demonstrate unconditional love towards others. This might mean bringing yourself into your heart space and letting everything you involve yourself in come from an attitude of giving freely. You have to learn to direct your green heart lighted energy through all your thoughts, actions, and deeds. Look around and see where and how you can serve another. Perhaps one way could be asking a friend if you can help clean up his or her office or run errands. Maybe volunteer to watch your neighbor's kids so the parents can have a night out, make a meal for someone who might be sick, volunteer in a hospital or hospice, perform an activity that enriches someone else's life. That's what this is. It's almost this enrichment that's happening because in the Red Pyramids journey that we did, it's this descent into the underground. So I'm seeing it as something that you have descended within yourself to retrieve, because it's inevitable that you come back and rise to the surface once again, but you come back with something of value. You come back with, again, this growth that's happened. I'm seeing it as, okay, a way that you've been able to be of service to yourself through your own descent has led to you becoming much wiser, because this reminds you of consciousness can no longer return back to its old dimensions once it grows beyond them. Okay, what is it? Consciousness can no longer return back to its old form once it expands into new dimensions. And I'm seeing that it's like you've expanded into new dimensions within yourself, where the deeper you've met yourself, the deeper that you're going to be able to meet others, even if, oh, they don't understand the totality of what you're doing. There could be things that you're offering, and it may be in the most mundane ways that uplifts another being. That's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing it as releasing. They're showing me Atlas, which is Atlas, what's heavier, the weight of the world or the weight of man's heart? And there's something around you uplifting hearts. Again, it could be something that you're doing from the heart space in some way, but it's very uplifting. Okay, I'm hearing you restore connection where someone felt previously disconnected. There could be something around you bringing someone back into coherence and helping them realize that they're not as alone as they may think that they are. Okay, this is very interesting. Let me go ahead and read growth for you. All right. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. You are constantly being presented with situations that enable you to develop your inner wisdom and assist you in advancing on higher levels of understanding. The lesson is to be aware of the events and recognize them for what they are. To live a mindful life is not about respecting and honoring those around you. It's about recognizing every person and circumstance on your path as a teacher. The constant chatter and diversions of life on earth can distract you from the signposts that spirit has left on your path. Take the time to be aware and the bountiful wisdom that has been laid out before you. Acknowledge these gifts and take them to heart as you continue on your sovereign journey in this physical dimension. Don't look for the opportunities that you think you need. Instead, be receptive to the opportunities that are given. That's what I'm seeing, okay? I'm hearing you come in as like this graceful, it just reminds me of facilitating someone with what they need exactly when they need it at that stage of their evolution journey without even having to be asked. That's what I'm seeing. It's like you come in during someone's either like darkest hour or during the time that they really, really need that assistance. That's what it reminds me, because I'm just being put in the person's shoes where it is like an earth angel. It reminds me of this quote. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some may have entertained angels unawares. That's what this is. you're an earth angel that people have been entertaining, but they've been unaware of it. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. And when I say entertaining, I just mean something that seems so simple for you is so, it's the density that another human's moving through, and it lightens, I don't know, it alleviates. I'm just seeing a relief energy. There's something around your presence and things just, they feel elevated. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and decode all of these different scenes right now. So let's start with the first one. The first scene was about the three waters. So let's see about this. Okay, let's take a look at this. I'm gonna use the Shaman's Dream Oracle. I want to take a look at the scene that's, okay, this is going to be quite interesting. I've never done this before. I'm going to take a look at the scene in the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and then also the character and their approach towards the scene in the Magic of the Gathering card. So let's go ahead and do that. Tell me about the three waters. The message begins in a tent. Okay, you have two for the three body of waters. In the hands of the universe, and the magician's sword, confidence in your magic. So this is what's happening in your life right now. The magician's sword, confidence in your magic, is about you doing something so effortlessly, because it's someone knowing that the universe is their co-creation partner. I'm seeing spirit show me where I need to be or what I need to do and what's going to be of service. Okay, how I'm going to be of service in the highest possible way. That's what this is. And there's almost like a level of humility in your approach to this, also a level of surrender, and I'm hearing flow, restoring flow where there were previous blockages. I'm just seeing you have surrendered into that flow like state. So let me go ahead and read Magician's Thought Form, and this is about also where you previously doubted yourself and how you're of service, because maybe it's, yeah, okay, it seems mundane, but it's not. Okay, it's far more, there's so much more that's going on beneath the surface. Okay, confidence in your magic. Nothing can stop you, the beauty that you seek. When the magician's sword appears, you're being called to cut the cords that bind you to old thought forms and beliefs, or to friends who are not true. With the power of the magician's sword, nothing can stop you, hurt you, or turn you away from the beauty that you seek or the goal that you desire with all of your heart. The sword is a tool, not a weapon, so make sure that you wield it wisely for the greater good. Find the stuck places that keep you tethered to a toxic person, particular location, or a faulty thought or belief, and let the blade do its magic. You have a large endowment of magic available when you believe in miracles, so don't look to the heavens to grant you your wish, look within. Use the magician's sword to cut through limiting beliefs, and remember that all beliefs are limiting. And focus on your intention in order to create what it is you wish. You have all the tools that you need for the task at hand. You need to only muster the wherewithal to deploy the resources you have. When the magician's sword appears, it's time to get moving. It's not a tool for contemplation, for gazing at the finely polished edges. It's an instrument for calling decisive action. And remember, the sword is alive with a wisdom that you can summon to help you find the best course of action. Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to fully step into this role. That's what I'm seeing for you, okay? I'm gonna get Magic of the Gathering energy and see what's prominent in your field. What's the octave? What's the octave of this? What's the approach for this? Because this is someone that's heavily being guided to do something and step into a role, but there could be still this essence of doubt that you're having to cut yourself from these limiting binding thought forms. And I'm hearing where you doubt most is where your mission is, what you have feared most is where your work is, and your deepest pain reveals to you what your superpower is. The moment that you embrace. Okay. I knew this was gonna come out. It's crazy because he was sitting at the top of the deck, but then I was like, okay, he seems like he would be right for this scene. But then I was like, I shuffled it and it was very specific. I was like shuffling for what felt like ages. And I know when it takes a certain amount of time to shuffle, I'm like, something very specific wants to come through. And then you have the hero's journey. So this is literally you, right? So there's no other better archetype. Like even with the color coordination and everything with this. It's just, it's, he, this is it. So this is the hero's journey, and then we have universal order here at the base. So universal order is saying that everything has had this cosmic alignment to bring you to this point of power in which you're stepping into. So let me go ahead and read the hero's journey. Ooh, so the hero's journey is you finally arranging your life around, your mission and why you're here, instead of, your fear or your doubt. Let me read him real quick. So, knowing yourself is the hero's journey. Your intention is the ship, your truth is your sword, and your awareness is your torch. Now, again, growth says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. It's something that you have unseen about your ability to be, I'm hearing a facilitator. To facilitate is to supply somebody with something that they need in any course of action, I'm hearing. Okay, so this could be financially, spiritually, energetically, physically, emotionally. It could be in any domain of your life. So your armor will be stripped as you slay the dragon. So this is your own internal dragon, right, with this, because this is being supported with universe. And this says there's nothing that you need to do. Like, you already know what you need to do, and now it's just time to do it. It's saying the universe is supporting you in this endeavor through and through. Then you return with the greatest treasure and the wisdom of the sages. So there's no escaping the hero's journey, and refusing the call is futile. So let go of resistance, face your fears, and face your truth. It's very similar, okay? And this talks about 𝓤𝓪𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬𝓮 is a planeswalker from Theros, a brave and loyal warrior who cherishes his friends. So and who is cherished, I'm hearing, also by his friends. So there's something, again, when we think about cherishing something and really fully, embracing it and valuing it, I'm just seeing there's something of value that you do, where, again, the grass is greenest where you are, and also where you've been. I'm just seeing that happen. That's so interesting. Okay, so yeah, where all these bodies of water meet. Let me take a look at this. Let me get some advice message, because I don't want this to be too long. You didn't know the place was like this. Tell me about the Lemuria, Sumeria, and the Proven Sun Disk. What is this? With the networks that was being shown. Okay. You have 3. Now, when it comes to the ancient star civilizations, we have 4. So the first one is Spirit of the River, movement towards adventure. Okay, this talks about having to go with the flow and not necessarily focusing on the form in how you're going to be of service, but more of the essence of what you're seeking. The essence of what this is. The essence of what you want to feel, but also what you want someone else to feel. Okay, and I'm hearing return back to that feeling and not forget that feeling. Then you have hollow bone teachability, which is literally saying surrender, because you're going to be shown that sometimes your life is meant to serve a different purpose at that moment in time, and that's leading you towards the bigger picture, because all rivers lead to the ocean. They all lead towards that source. That's what I'm seeing for you. There's many different winding paths that are going to be taken down. And it reminds me of, okay, you're going to be in service. You're basically going to be called to be of service in ways that the mind can't even fully comprehend, because it reminds me of that conversation between Doctor Strange and also like the Ancient One, right? Where she says, your mind has taken you so far, but it would take you no farther. She says something about submission. You cannot control a river. You cannot beat a river into submission. You must surrender to its current and use its power as your own. That's what I'm seeing. Because teachability is you literally become a conduit. It's talking about hollow bone, which is about being humble, being hollow to see where you're going to be guided and how you're going to be guided. That's what it is. It's almost like okay, show me where I need to go. Show me where I'm of service of today. That's what I'm seeing. There's almost like a different kind of fluidity in your mission, where gathering around the power of community is, there's many different celestial light helpers that are going to literally bring you somewhere into sacred role line collisions. So these are, again, certain ley lines that are going to be opening up, certain activation points even within you. Okay, it's very, very intricate. It's a very intelligently self-organized system. Just know that. And things are going to be self-organized for you to be at places at the time that you need to be there. But it requires for you to quiet the logical mind and follow the heart in a way that the mind doesn't fully comprehend. Some things are going to happen beyond the human's understanding. Okay, this is very, 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 very interesting because this talks about celestial light helpers literally bringing you to this place. So there's a higher intelligence within you, and it's going to be this quiet surrender that you're going to have to step into. Yeah, humility is going to be key around this time. And then you have the crossing, which is an initiation. So this is also part of your initiation now. Can you trust that you're being called to be of service? In so many different ways and areas of your life. Ooh, that's what it reminds you of. It's like it's a vessel of possibility. I'm gonna read the crushing initiation for you. This is so interesting. I don't even know how to articulate it, but it's almost like it's someone having to step into a season of surrender because there's so many different ways that your purpose is playing out where it's not tied to just one specific thing. Okay, it's like there's many different purposes in which you're going to be serving, right? Something that's it's like you're a multi-dimensional being or a multi-faceted being, and you're going to be called to step into different dimensions and frequencies and octaves of yourself that allow you to be of purpose and facilitate certain dimensional fields and timelines as well, that propel from those dimensional fields. So the rite of passage, initiation. You have come to stand on one side of the river. The opposite bank leads into darkness of the eternal cave, where the old dies and is born again. This is a place where time is forgotten and the seasons cease their dance, and stand still as if in a temporary repose. You must cross the river now, honouring and respecting this transition, for it's time to say goodbye to the old ways of navigating a world. There could have been like a very fixed, rigid, structured, either routine or just mindset that you've had, or, again, intention that you've had, but I'm seeing that kind of disperse and scatter. It's almost as if you're not just planting seeds in one area, but they're happening in all. Yeah, it's like the high self bleeding into all areas of your life. Purpose, vitality, career, relationships, your mission, anything that you touch. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so you must cross the river now, honoring and respecting this transition. Don't be afraid you've come to the edge of the river because you're ready. You're ready to let go of what doesn't serve you and all the ways in which you've truly kept yourself from living. Intimacy requires a vulnerability and truth. And vulnerability is going to be your connecting bridge. What does vulnerability require? Exposure. It requires for you to expose yourself in ways that you don't have a point of reference for. I don't feel like you've ever done anything quite like this before, and this is your initiation. It's leaning into something completely new. You could be cultivating completely new connecting points. Okay, so can you strip away the mask and the barriers of the false self and discover what you're truly made of? Step into the boat waiting for you. Let it carry you into the cave where the shadows are waiting to be illuminated, so that you can be born into the world again without denial or artifice. Making the crossing is a beautiful, powerful act of highest love. Wow. Let's take a look at the character for this. Universal Order here at the base too. Let me read the Universal Order card. This is one that I don't really see show face a lot. So Universal Order talks about you are one with the ordering principle of the universe. You can witness this principle in geometry, mathematics, and galaxies in the form of chaos into spirals. You're an integral part of this great mystery, and without you, the equation of the universe would be incomplete. This is how important you are. You're living life, but life is also living you when your ego gets stuck in a state of confusion. Stop trying to control everything and see where the pattern of the universe takes you. This is what it is. Like, this talks about Clotheus is a god of destiny who sees each life as a thread within the cosmic tapestry. That's what this is. It's like the needle may think that it needs to make one pass through the fabric of this existence, but I'm seeing just many fabrics and also a different kind of stitching style. The way that you're going to be seamlessly flowing in and out of, different beings' life and literally, it's like this interconnected web. That's what it, oh, that's such a good reference. the red threads. It's a Chinese proverb and it talks about people, places, things that we're basically destined to come into alignment with. No matter how many times the red threads, tangles, comes back around. There's people that were fated to, touch, lives that were fated to touch. It could be through something that you're doing or whatever it is. I'm just seeing that there's so many. It's like you're doing grid work wherever you are. There's things that you're recalibrating in the field. That's why the grass is always green, is where you are or where you've been, because there's something that you're restoring within the land or yourself and your perspective. And it's coming through this humility, it's coming through this, surrender. It's just, I don't even know how to, it's like you're a vessel of possibility. It's a extension of source in this system. It's anchoring source into this system. There's something in which you're anchoring. Oh, it's so, so powerful. Yeah, wow. Okay, let's pull a message now for this crossing, gathering around of community, the spirit of the river. Who is this? Who is this? Oof. Too many, too many, too many. Let's try and get one. You are your words. Let's see. It also reminds you of just something wanting to flow through you. Face your fear. Okay, face your fear is the character. Now you also have the unconscious. So the unconscious is literally the part of you that doubts or questions because of how things seem in the present. Okay, so this gives me, it may not bring you any kind of like instant gratification to like plant these seeds or disperse them in all of these different areas in your life. But the thing is, I'm hearing once those seeds culminate and the conditions are right, you're gonna see how everything flows, and I'm hearing it comes back to you. That's what it is. It's just someone who, they're showing me like a flower girl, down a married, like when someone gets married and they go down the aisle and there's like a flower girl and she like, she's dispersed all these different petals through like this walkway, this ceremony that's about to take place. That's what it kind of it seems like. It's like you're kind of like skipping along and just spreading joy or like little seeds wherever you go. There's just something that you're doing where it's like a bit of this, a bit of that. There's just like this multi-dimensional fluidity to it, but it's not one kind of seed. That's what this is. Okay, there's something that's going to self-organize in your life where everything is going to bloom exactly when it needs to. Oh, let me go ahead and read this for you, right? So we have facial fear and the unconscious. This is it. And this could be the scariest part for you, just because again you're being asked to almost uh, let the flesh and unconscious take a backseat and really being a conduit. That's what this is. It's like you're training your organism to become greater than your fear, become greater than your mind and emotions, and it's mastering your relationship with the physical realm, and also you're changing your relationship with the physical realm too. Facial fear. Many times in our life, we must enter the dark forest of our fear. At these points, we can either run or turn away, or move in deeper to face our fear and overcome it. Each fear we have overcome unlocks power and increases our capacity for compassion. If fear has you in anxiety or panic, breathe. Fear is often about future events. What could happen is not what is happening. Are you safe right now? Don't let the mind pull your awareness into fearful future tripping. Now, we also have the unconscious. So, the unconscious is to, bring awareness to this octave of self. It's not to suppress it, but it's to act even in that presence of fear. Again, acting even when uncertainty arises and saying, okay, no, I am certain. I am going to stay grounded in this mission. I'm going to stay dedicated to this path. Okay, let me read this. The unconscious. The unconscious contains our deepest desires, fears, and memories. Sometimes the unconscious emerges in a tsunami of emotion. When it does, honor its message. Let the old ways crumble, and then be conscious of what you rebuild in their place. When the unconscious is repressed, we can begin to feel dead inside or become neurotic. If you are feeling anything close to this, do some soul searching. Don't be afraid to wipe out what you know, rewrite your old programming, and reinvent yourself. That's what this says. It's a full blown, not just reinvention, but also revelation that's taking place. You're doing something completely different in the ways that you're Ooh, this is what it is. It's like something's dispersing out. This goes beyond you. That's what this is. There's many beings that actually want to work with you in tandem in many areas of your life. That's what this is. And there could be something around, utilizing your free will, um, and applying that in areas that may not be instantly gratifying for the ego, because it kind of does remind me of a Seven of Coins energy, which is literally somebody nurturing something that is going to harvest, but they are continuing to nourish a seed that they planted long ago. And they are, even if that's a tree that they're not going to sit under the shade of, okay, they're still nurturing that tree in its, yeah, in its like, that's what unconditional love is, right? It's to accept everything fully at whatever stage of its evolution journey it is, no matter how small. We have the Knight of Chalices. So the Knight of Chalices is maybe a creative opportunity, something that you want to take inspired action on. But again, it's that flow state, right? He is someone that is mastering his relationship with water. He's mastering his relationship with flow. And, part of his journey is to kind of romanticize his life again by stepping into that fluidity, to become more detached and step into the realm of nothing is where everything is. Release everything that you think that you know and prepare to be shown something that's far beyond anything that you ever could have imagined. That's what this is. Okay, that's what this is for you. That's your message. Now, even if no one else understands as well, Three of Wands here at the base. This is someone getting like these hypnotic, visions essentially. And there's forces that are trying to guide her in the other direction, but this is this psychic impression that she basically has. Let me go ahead and read the Three of Wands for you, because I feel like this is how it's going to feel. Three of Embers is looking ahead and rapid growth. A woman crowned with three flames floats off the ground as if she is anchored by her two companions. Distracted by her premonitions, she spots danger approaching and the devastation that lies ahead. Beneath her, a reflection and her present of the dancers, a symbol of her past. She lives outside of the bounds of time and must choose a direction in order to survive. So the Sibyl sees all there is to come. Her psychic intuition can be emotionally crippling at times, but with streamlined focus, it can offer a chance at rapid growth and, most importantly, survival. As humans, we have the ability to predict and plan for future problems through adapting and anticipating. Learn from the Sibyl and look forward and plan ahead for any possible outcome, and you will see a chance for rapid growth in the near future. So there's something around that, but there's many different directions that you're going to want to go on or go in. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. It just feels like there's a way that spirit is going to want to move through you, and the way that the soul is going to want to guide the flesh in this experience, and it's going to require for fear to take a backseat and for you to streamline your focus on something having a far, I'm hearing, greater advantage in the grand scheme of things than what's tied to just the finite. Those who seek rewards in the finite realms will have far greater consequences in more infinite ways. Yeah. And it's going to be shown to you in very cryptic ways that the mind is not supposed to be able to decode until you look back in hindsight. It's one of those moments where it's like, oh, I understand why I was guided to that place, because otherwise I wouldn't have met A, B, and C, or I wouldn't have recovered D, E, and F. Or, I knock something within me. Again, it's just something's going on with you. I don't know what it is. It feels cryptic, but it feels like an initiation. So trust that. Trust yourself, okay? And I'm gonna leave you there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing because we'd love to have you around. Personal reading details also down below. Also check out Otter Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. Again, small family owned business that handcraft these beautiful gemstones. I'm gonna leave you there, and until next time, let me know, what do you feel like this is? What do you feel like you're being initiated for? And yeah, what do you feel like you're becoming a conduit for as well? Do you feel like it's it's multiple areas of your life? Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear. Until next time, bye.